Morning, it's Friday, October 27th. Welcome to VIP Pre-Market Prep. I just threw this up on Twitter, on our story trading handle on Twitter, as a free preview. Let's see how that works and if people show up on Twitter. Might do that from time to time. All right, we've been killing it this week, this month, doing our day trading. So let's take a look at the morning news and macro, and we'll pick our top picks for the day. So actually, we had PCE this morning, which came in line. We had Amazon and Intel earnings. We also had U.S. striking back at Iran proxies in Syria. So that's what's going on, big picture perspective. And I actually think we're due for a bounce today. Let's see, what are we doing now? QQQ is up 1%. Gold slightly down. VIX is down. USO up a little bit on that Iranian strike in Syria. I believe that's what that's about. But look, things don't go down in a straight line. And I spent hours kind of listening to Twitter Spaces last night on the geopolitics and the strike in Iran. And my conclusion is that it can actually calm things down. You know, on the superficial level, people are like, "Oh, regional war," but I actually think that U.S. responding makes it less likely for a regional war. Okay. I don't want to get into the politics and psychology of all of that, but at least the perception, coming into a Friday morning, finally U.S. did something, right? Peace through strength. That's the shortcut. That's the cliff notes for what I'm thinking at. So the perception today is peace through strength. We can breathe a sigh of relief and let the market maybe rebound a little bit. That's where I'm at with the psychology of the market this morning. And you can see technically, look at that. We just got slaughtered for a couple days. And what is this high right here? This is a key level. It's around 347. See that yesterday? It got rejected in the afternoon right around 347. If we get above that, I think we can go to the next level right there, about 348. So I think we're good. I think we're looking bullish this morning, maybe depending on the geopolitical news flow later this afternoon. Remember, Fridays are scary for geopolitics. Maybe late afternoon, people start getting worried again if something comes up in the news, and then we're back to the plays like gold and VIX and all that. But for now, I'm not worried about the war this morning. Maybe I'll revisit the war stuff this afternoon, okay? That being said, let's go take a look at some individual stock picks. Actually, ERs. Here's my ER list. Just want to let you know there was ERs last night on Amazon, Intel, Enphase, Ford, CMGB, MPW, and Oprah from the other day. I have them here because had really good price action. Oprah, we covered it yesterday, was a top pick, and I think that can see follow through. All right, but there's a few of these ERs I took to the morning show, so let's take a look. All right. Okay. So Amazon, I'm actually not interested in playing Amazon. Okay, it was a beat, but it was like a modest beat. And on top of that, apparently a lot of that beat had to do with Rivian shares that they own that they're, that they have a profit on. So I'm actually not going to play Amazon. Great for the long term. One of the best investments you can probably make, like in the retirement account, something like that. But let's dismiss that for now. Our top two picks are probably going to be long Intel, short Enphase. Which one's going to come first? I don't know. We'll talk it through and we'll figure it out. All right. Intel, look at this. This was really beautiful because not only did they beat for the quarter, but they beat on guidance. Let's go look at the headlines here. I got a scroll line. Here we go. So Q3, 41-cent beat versus 22 estimate. So like 100% beat. Okay. Revenue beat very nicely. 14.2 billion versus 13.5. Now the guidance, even more important. 44 versus 30 cents. That's a 50% beat. All right. And then revenue, look at that, midpoint 15 billion versus 13.5 billion. This is huge. These are blowout numbers. Now, you know what we do sometimes? We do this re-rating on what's the percent of the beat or the percent of the miss and apply that, triangulate that with the chart to find the target. You can't really do that when the EPS numbers are so low. That works when you have EPS numbers like, I don't know, the dollars, right? But when you have an EPS of 22 cents, there's 41 cents versus 44 cents. Intel's not going up 50%. So all I can say is the stock has an upward bias today. So now let's take that and look, triangulate on the chart. You can see quickly on the 5-day, actually. Oh, hold on. I just lost the indicator. There we go. You can see on the 5-day. Oops. Let's go back to Intel. Okay, you can see on the 5-day, we're kind of at like resistance of Monday morning right now. So we got to go back a little bit more. How are we going to get blocked there? That resistance, you can call it the 20 and 50 DMAs here at 35.40. So I guess that's going to be your initial resistance for the day. Probably we're in this now, so we're probably going to be selling some at those resistance levels. And then we'll see if it breaks above that, we could keep going. But man, I got to say, this is good. This is good for retirement account also, Intel. All right. It's a couple quarters in a row now that they beat earnings, really nice earnings. Last quarter, the initial reaction to earnings, you can see this candle here was actually tough because there was a big gap on the day. Then it went down. And I don't remember. Wasn't following closely. So I'm not sure if this was just following the market down to 32 or what sparked the rebound over here. I don't know. But look at this. A couple months later, it went far above what it was after that earnings report. But now you have another earnings report, even better than the last one. I think it's going to make its way upwards in a swing to long-term time frame. Okay, I don't know how long it'll take. So there's a great kind of retirement stock at this point. Intel and Amazon both. Okay, but for today, I'm just looking first to see how it interacts with these 20 and 50 lines, and then we'll see if it can do more. So Intel long today is one of our picks. Enphase short. Wow, Enphase short over here. This is juicy. I'm actually excited about this. So it looks scary, right? It went from like 76 to, all right, let's just recap. Enphase crashed from like 126, all right, let's call it 115 or so. Big gap here to 99 when Solar Edge came out and they warned, right? SEDG. Okay. So now they come through and they have their own earnings and it's bad. So some people might say, all right, buy the news. It's overreaction, right? We already paid the price for SEDG. Well, not quite, because SEDG, their revenue came in like 20% or so lower than expected. Enphase, 50% lower than expected. Now I'm going to show you some charts. All right, let's scroll on over. I'm going to share there we go. Check this out. All right. So a lot going on here. Let's just go to EV to revenue, forward revenue. Okay, now do you see this? This is the forward revenue to, wow. All right, to SEDG. You can see Enphase is already much more expensive than Solar Edge, but guess what? This number here, it's got a double, well, minus the reduction we have right now. So you're probably talking about an 8 EV to forward revenue right now compared to SolarEdge, which is at like 1. Okay, you might say, maybe Enphase deserves to have this really high valuation. Well, let's look at the EBITDA then. So EV to forward EBITDA. EV to forward EBITDA, nope, SolarEdge is actually cheaper, right? So SolarEdge is more profitable than Enphase. So does Enphase really deserve this gigantic ratio of revenue, their price to revenue? So the revenue just dropped. Even if you say, hey, let's keep this 4.8 stable, to keep this 4.8 stable, assuming next quarter's numbers are sequentialized over 4 quarters, okay, then the stock has to be cut in half from yesterday, right? Stock has to be cut in half from like $95. Now, I'm not going to go that far. So I'm going to say this. Let's go to Enphase. Enphase was, before all these warnings came out, the stock was about 126. And now the revenue is being guided 50% lower. Maybe this thing should go to 63. All right. It's still far down below 81. So I'm not investing in this. I'm not swinging this. I'm just saying, what would the perception of other market participants be today? What kind of calculations are other people doing today? If people think that this has a potential to go to $60 or lower, well, then they may be shorting it at $81 still. So that's really the thesis behind shorting this right now. I know it's having a good morning. We shorted it last night at like $80, and we were sitting pretty at 75 this morning. Had a nice bounce. Actually shorted more. So, but nothing's a guarantee. Nothing's a guarantee. So you got to manage your position, use the right size. If it's going against you at some point, you might say, you know what, it's not working today. I might have to take a loss. So nothing's a guarantee. Remember that. But I really 50% lower. They were supposed to do 600 million in revenue. They're saying they're going to do 300 million in revenue. Annualize that. That's 1.2 billion revenue. Market cap 13 billion. I mean, are they still going to be profitable after revenue gets cut in half from 600 to 300 million? I highly doubt it. I'm not an expert on the company. I don't have a financial model in front of me. But I imagine other people highly doubt it, right? Are they going to be able to maintain profitability, or at least they'll question it today? So I think I really like this short idea, and particularly on big pops. I guess you could have big pops. We already had one this morning. But if you manage your size and you're careful and managing that, then if we do get further big pops during the day, this is something I would have confidence in shorting the spike. So that's the story with Enphase. Ford withdrew guidance. All right. I'm actually a little surprised here. We're up, but you know what? I don't know. I have to tell you this, though. Throughout this whole strike, I've been surprised how Ford has been holding up. I mean, to me, it was insane. It was holding up this whole time with this strike, more or less around $12. And they came in and said, okay, because of the strike, we can't give you guidance. Well, that's bad. All right. But you know what? I don't have the stocks number. I've been confused the whole time why Ford hasn't been crashing. So I did short a little bit last night, but I may have to cut this because I just don't have the stocks number. I don't get it. All right. But that's an idea for you. I mean, pulling guidance, usually a bad thing. Usually you go down much more than 2.5% when you say, I can't even give you guidance because of the strike that's going on, or the new deal, that they just signed or something like that. But in any case, that's the story with Ford. All right, let's see what other possibilities we have here that we'd like to put in our top 5. I've already seen what they might be. I have Chewy. Chewy over here. We had on our show 2 days ago because they had an analyst come in after the thing was getting killed. Here it is. UBS raises from sell to neutral, raises price target from, did they raise it? They cut to 20 from 25. Okay, cut to 20, but they raised from sell to neutral. And look at the stock. It's breaking above the 20 DMA right now in pre-market. This thing has room to $20 now. If it stays above, you see it. It's peaking above the 20 right now. So Chewy can make its way over to $20. All right, Chewy's going to be in the top 5 because of this technical break and the analyst that upgraded the other day. All right, Rivian, I think another one that's going to be in the top 5, especially because I'm looking for a market rebound, at least in the first half of the day. Rivian came out, and we have Cantor Fitzgerald raising to overweight with a $29 price target. All right, the stock's been killed, so I could see a nice rebound in this, maybe towards recent resistance at 1770, maybe short of that 200 DMA. But if the market, especially if the market rebounds nicely, I got to pull up QQQ here on my desktop. Okay, so especially if the market has a nice day, a rebound day, I think Rivian and Chewy are good candidates for you. So let's start ordering this a little bit. So we have long Intel, we have short Enphase. I'm going to skip Amazon and Ford, not interested in those. MPW had nice earnings, but I just don't know it well enough. All right, I like long Chewy. I like long Rivian. Oprah, maybe some follow through. Let's see. Ooh, POW. We can't forget about POW. All right, let's see how this looks like. All right, long Intel, short Enphase. Although Intel, I don't love this pre-market action. Not the type of pattern I'd love to see before the market opens. So maybe we're going to make sure Enphase is number one. Chewy, man, I really like this price action above the 20 DMA on Chewy. Wow. And I may have to pull Chewy up, man. I may have to pull Chewy up. And I like all of these names. I got to put Powell ahead of Oprah just because of the gun thesis. Very strong. So we got maybe 6 stocks. I think we're going to leave it at 6 stocks for you to consider today. But what's the number one going to be today? I don't love this price. I guess I got to go Enphase. I could definitely go against you, though. I'm going to go Enphase. Yeah, I'm going to go Enphase. All right. So I'm actually going to go Enphase. And then what's going to be number 2? Let's look at this again. Man, I was interested in playing call options on Intel, but I don't like this pre-market action. Not the best setup for call options at the open. Let's see. Enphase, Chewy. All right, I'm going to go Intel number 2. It did have earnings. It did have good earnings. Chewy, it's just a technical break. All right, so that's what we're going to do. All right, these are going to be your top 5. Short Enphase. So we're talking about, we may actually close out our common shares or something, or at least half of them close to the open, and then get some puts. We'll see. So short Enphase, long Intel, long Chewy, long Rivian, which is acting nice this morning. Beautiful. And we're already swinging POW, but maybe we'll pick up some more POW because POW, you know, the thesis on this, we've been covering it between the main shooting and the Israel war. At some point, this is going to fill the gap at $3. So you just got to break out of recent highs, and then you make yourself 272. You break out of 272 or 271 by 274 this morning. You break out of 272. The next level is 282. And then from 282, you fill the gap at 3. So PAL's definitely got to be in the top 5. And who knows, we might kind of make it the number 1 as the morning opens up. Let me just see if, yeah. So if you're in the app, just pay attention. All right. If we make changes to what the number 1 is, we'll put it in here just like we did yesterday. Okay, we'll do that. So right now, the number 1 is going to be short Enphase, then long Intel, long Chewy, long Rivian, long POW. That's the game plan. I also like long Oprah for a number 6 in there, at least maybe buy the dips or whatever. All right, we went through all the numbers and targets yesterday on that, and they stand the same. Okay, man, this short Ford, I said, this one is out of it. I'm not playing it. I just don't get price action on Ford. So with that, we're out of here. I'll see you at 1 p.m. for an update.